So it's the 19th of January. I'm sat in my lovely little cosy studio listening to the rain on what's a very grim day. And just want to talk to you today about a few tactics that you can use just to have a little bit of a reset. So if you find that you're struggling a little bit to keep going with the exercise, with sort of healthier food, very common resolutions that we do. And it's very typical as we get further into the month that sort of our motivation and our enthusiasm start to wane a little bit. So there's a few reasons behind this, and there's a few things that you can certainly do to get yourself back on track. And that's what I want to look at today. I want to try and help you have a little bit of a reset, have a little bit of a think about what you want to achieve and what you might, what you can do to then get yourself back going again. Because we all want to be healthier, we all want to have more energy, we all want to eat better and do more exercise, but we can suffer quite a lot from overwhelm, juggling a lot of things. And lockdown we've got thrown in the mix, haven't we, this year, that makes everything a little bit tougher. So firstly, I want to talk about this from the context of setting goals. Okay, so quite often you'll have hit January the 1st, 4th, whenever you really start to think about the new beginning. This is my notes. have to keep focused or I'll waffle. And we think about what it is that we want to achieve. And quite often those goals are quite generic. Okay, and we might just think, oh God, I've put so much weight on over Christmas, I want to lose X amount of pounds, or God, I've just sat in front of the TV for 2 weeks, I need to get out and move more. And that can really be it. And that's the extent of which we really think about what those goals are. So if you've found that you've not achieved your goals or even working to your goals, what can sometimes be the problem is that goals not what you really want. It's not really realistic, okay? And if you don't really want that goal, it might not be that your weight's the main thing. And therefore, if you've set yourself a daft target of losing weight when you're not actually sure that that's the problem, or there's other things that are more of a priority, then is it a surprise that you might struggle to hit that goal? So think about what your goals are and then start to dig a bit deeper. So I'm going to use weight because it's just an easy one, but think about what's relevant to you. Quite often when I speak to people, the first thing that they talk about is losing weight. But when we dig a little bit deeper and have a bit of a conversation, actually they realise they want more energy. And that's the priority really, because having more energy would unlock a lot of other things for them in their life and make them feel a lot happier. Now, losing weight can be part of the solution for that. Eating healthier can be part of the solution for that. And also moving more and doing more exercise, which, we all know it's hard to get over that hump of having to expend that extra energy before we've got it to do the exercise. But we know that they're the things that really motivate, that really make a difference energy-wise. So don't just default to the lose weight goal if that's not really the thing that you need. It could be that you're focusing on the wrong thing. And just by shifting your focus into the right thing, the thing that's really going to make a difference for you, a tangible difference, then you can start to put the things that you need to do to achieve that goal into a bit of a different perspective. Okay. So the second step is then to think about, okay, so what will it actually take to achieve that goal, whatever it is that you want? Now, chances are, if you've struggled so far this year, the time that you spent planning and being specific about what you needed to do to hit that goal could have been a little bit on the non-existent side, shall we say, or maybe the light side. So, let's stick with energy. And part of energy, we want more energy, so we know that we need to go out for a walk every day, and that's going to help to bring our energy levels back up because that'll make us sleep a little bit better. And we know that when we don't have too much of a heavy lunch, we've got more energy in the afternoon. So we're very specific about what the things are that we need to do to hit that goal. Then we need to plan the actions that are going to help us to achieve that. And that could be looking at how we might just diary that time just to make sure that happens, how we recognise, we might need to get some support to sort of free up that time, someone else to keep an eye on the kids from a whole homeschooling perspective while you go out for a walk. You might need to just be a little bit more organised for your food planning, to think about what your meals are and have the food in ready, and maybe share out the tasks of prepping that food to make sure that you're going to do the things that you need. So you need to get into the little bits of more detail of how you're going to make it happen. Then I want to talk about commitment. Commitment's an interesting word because we set these goals, we decide on something that we want, but we don't really think about how committed we really are to achieving that goal. So our goals can be a little bit superficial, which then, if you think about it like that, it's not surprising that we can fall a bit short. Now, the test for this is, are you ready to give up something that would be holding you back from achieving that goal? So let's use energy again. Let's use the idea of going for a walk. Are you prepared to switch off your laptop and take that lunch break from work and insist on it? If that's the only way that you can get out for that work, you've got to give something up. You've got to set boundaries. That's the test about commitment. Are you prepared to do that? Because if you're not prepared to free up the time to make those things happen, then it's only going to be a matter of time before you let something else be the priority and you put the actions that you needed to do to hit your goal on the back burner, and that's how things start to slide. So you've got to think about, are you using excuses that you don't have time? Are you putting other people first 100% of the time? Never prioritising yourself, very common. Are you letting your fears or discomforts get in the way? So you might feel uncomfortable about moving around, you might feel uncomfortable about being outside at this, in this weather, for example. You might feel a little bit self-conscious doing some sorts of exercise if you put weight on. So what things are there that, you've got to put aside that fear, you've got to put aside that discomfort, you've got to give up something that you like. You might like to sit there and watch a certain programme at lunchtime, and you'd have to give that up to fit that work in. But that's the true measure of commitment. You have to, something's got to give way. Chances are that your day is in an established routine already, and if you want to switch something up or make a change, you're going to have to jiggle things around a little bit. So what are those things? That's a test of commitment. And I think that's a really useful thing to think about because, it's something that we quite easily overlook. And that is a good test, I think, to say, yes, I'm not quite being realistic here because I'm not going to get what I want if I don't stop, give up, get over this thing that's going to hold me back. It becomes very practical then and really throws it into a sharper focus. So that's commitment. Next one is about the bigger picture. Sometimes we forget about why we're doing it. What's the big why? Why do we really want to have more energy, lose more weight, be more active, be fitter? And some of the things that I come up with the people I work with are, having more energy and time to spend with your children. It can be more about grandchildren for some of us. I'm not there yet, I hope. Be trouble if I am. But that can be a time when really we sort of see a future and see little children coming along again that we really want to be available for and be able to keep up with. You might want to have the energy to keep your career going. I've worked with women in their mid-40s going through the menopause, and they struggle so much because they are just shattered, really struggling with how the hormones are disrupted sleep, relying on, Coke, the drinking kind, coffee, chocolate to sort of keep them on a high throughout the day and sort of crashing and really sort of looking like frightened rabbits as they go into yet another sort of difficult situation because they're really just clinging on. And, you really might want to or need to keep that career going into your 40s, 50s and beyond. How, that can be a big why as well. How do you keep your energy levels up? How do you have that mental clarity to keep you going? Another one, which is this is the closest one for me really, is how able are, I'm at a stage where I've got stepchildren and a daughter. Daughter's the youngest, but, I can see a future where they don't need me anymore and they're off doing their own thing. And how's that going to, how am I going to have the energy and the vitality to go off and make the most of that time and deal with that and actually make that a positive sort of life stage for me, and be in the right frame of mind and have the right level of energy and vitality and feel good enough about myself to be able to do that. So the big picture is really, really important, because that's really can be just a little bit of an extra driver and puts into context why I have to go for the walk this lunchtime, because it's part of a bigger goal and a more significant goal that you've got to aim for in your life. So there are a few bits of context of how you can dig into detail a little bit more when you're planning your goals, to just give you a little bit more momentum. What I want to draw your attention to now, though, is the concept of problem thinking. It's very easy for us to create a bit of a negative dialogue. I can't manage this. I've not got time to do it. I've not got the willpower. I love eating this too much. I don't have to watch that programme. I can't stay awake long enough. You know, there'll be a whole raft of things that we use to either blame ourselves, blame our character, blame our circumstances, blame other people, and create all these little excuses that we're really not conscious of, that are called problem thinking. And when you are, predominantly in a problem thinking mode, you're not going to make the changes that you want, because you're just giving your brain all the excuse, or your brain's giving you, your character, your personality, all of the excuses it needs to fail. And it's a failure justification exercise. So if you recognise that negative self-talk yourself, then you need to step back from that and look at how you reframe it. So the opposite to problem thinking is solution thinking. And that's where you're aware of the problems that you face, but instead of saying, I can't do this because, you're reframing it to say, I struggle to, get out away from work at lunchtime, so therefore I need to, whatever that is, go before work, go straight after work. You've got to find the solution, rather than allow other things that you can't control to get in your way and hold you back. You need to look to yourself to find the solutions and think a lot more proactively about what you're doing. And there's lots of things that you can then do to create solutions to that. But people who are more resourceful are the people who can manage the day, manage stressful lives, manage lockdown, manage homeschooling. There's people who can achieve things in that when you start to think about solution thinking, and that's what you want to put in place. And another thing that you're doing along the lines of solution thinking is where you're positively framing things. So you have the choice to dread going for a walk all day, hate every minute of it, and just be glad it's over and done with. Or like one of my clients that I was speaking to only yesterday, recognises that exercise is hard, you have to push yourself through pain, but right from the beginning, she's thinking, I'm going to feel great when I've done this. And then you tap into that then when you feel that you don't want to put your trainers on, or something feels difficult, because you're going to feel great when you've done it. So you've got a really positive mindset towards it. That's when you're more motivated to do it. You're creating positive associations with that activity, and that's going to help you want to do, or attract you to doing these things that are going to help you hit your goals. So I hope that gives you some ideas, I guess, of how you can maybe sort of come back to what you were trying to achieve this year that you may have struggled with for now, and go back in and just re-energise yourself and start making some progress to the changes that you want to make. So thank you for joining me. Hope you enjoyed that. This is the sort of thing that we cover when I do one-on-one training with people, or in my online group programs. So if you'd like more of this on a regular basis to help you with your health, fitness, weight loss goals, then drop me a line. You can email me at hello@GabrielleO'Hare, or you can hop onto my website, which is www.theover40spersonaltrainer.com. Have a great day.